So hello everyone, in this audio class we will discuss the 20 most important questions from the chapter Indian Drainage System. These questions will be very much important for your upcoming KVS and NVS Geography PGT interview. So let's get started with the question number 1. What is drainage system and how is it different from a drainage basin? So a drainage system is the network of the main river and its tributaries through which water flows. A drainage basin is the area drained by a river and its tributaries. In simple words, a drainage system refers to the river network, whereas the drainage basin refers to the area from which the river collects water. For example, the Ganga river and its tributaries form the Ganga drainage system, while the area drained by them is called the Ganga drainage basin. So the next question is the concept of watershed. Why is the concept of watershed important in understanding river systems? So a watershed is the boundary separating one drainage basin from another. It helps us identify which river system will receive the runoff from a particular area. Watersheds are important for water resource planning and river basin management. For example, the Aravalli range acts as a watershed between rivers flowing towards different directions. Next question, how does the size of a drainage basin influence the discharge and importance of a river? So, a larger drainage basin collects water from a wider area, resulting in greater discharge and larger river systems. Such rivers generally support agriculture, transportation and human settlements on a larger scale. For example, the Ganga basin is the largest basin in India and therefore supports a very large population. Next question, what factors determine the drainage pattern of a region? So the drainage patterns are controlled by the geological structure, slope, relief and rock type. The nature of the land surface determines the direction and arrangement of streams. For example, flat and uniform rocks generally produce dendritic drainage, whereas folded structures produce trellis drainage. Next question, differentiate between dendritic, trellis, radial and centripetal drainage pattern. So, dendritic drainage resembles the branches of a tree and develops on homogeneous rocks. Trellis drainage develops in regions of folded topography. Radial drainage develops where rivers flow outward from a central highland, and centripetal drainage develops when rivers flow inward towards a central depression. For example, Amarkantak Plateau shows radial drainage. Next question, why do most Indian rivers drain into the Bay of Bengal while only a few drains into the Arabian Sea? So the Peninsular Plateau has a general slope from west to east. Therefore, most rivers flow eastward and drain into the Bay of Bengal. Only a few rivers like the Narmada, Tapi flow westward through rift valleys into the Arabian Sea. For example, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri flow eastward into the Bay of Bengal. Next question, on what basis can Indian rivers be classified into Himalayan and Peninsular river systems? So Indian rivers are classified based on their origin, age, nature and characteristics. Rivers originating from the Himalayas form the Himalayan drainage, while rivers originating from the Peninsular Plateau form the Peninsular drainage. For example, Ganga is a Himalayan river, whereas Godavari is a Peninsular river. Next question, why are Himalayan rivers described as perennial rivers? So Himalayan rivers receive water from both glaciers and monsoon rainfall. Therefore, they flow throughout the year and are called the perennial rivers. For example, Ganga, Indus and Brahmaputra are perennial rivers. Next question, how do glaciers and monsoon rainfall together influence the flow regime of Himalayan rivers? So, glaciers provide water during summer through snow melt, while monsoon rainfall supplies water during the rainy season. This dual source ensures continuous flow throughout the year. Next, for example, the Ganga receives water from the Gangotri glacier and monsoon rainfall. Next question, what evidence suggests that the Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra were once part of a larger river system? So, geologists believe that ancient river known as Indo-Ganga Brahmaputra river existed. Indo-Brahma river existed before the upliftment of the Himalayas. Later, tectonic activities divided into the present Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra systems. For example, so there is dismemberment of Indo-Brahma river into three major drainage systems. Next question, why are valleys of Himalayan rivers deep, narrow and V-shaped in their upper courses? So, the upper courses of Himalayan rivers have steep gradients and strong vertical erosion. As a result, they cut deep V-shaped valleys and form gorges, rapids and waterfalls. For example, the Indus and Brahmaputra create deep gorges in the Himalayas. Next question, how does the geological history of India explain the evolution of the peninsular drainage system? So, the peninsular drainage system evolved due to three geological events: subsidence of the western flank, upliftment of the Himalayas and tilting of the peninsular block from northwest to southeast. These events changed river directions and drainage patterns. So, the next question is, why are peninsular rivers considered older and more mature than Himalayan rivers? So, peninsular rivers flow over one of the oldest land masses of the world. They have reached a mature stage with broad and shallow valleys and stable courses. For example, Godavari and Krishna have well adjusted valleys and fixed channels. Next question, what role do the Western Ghats plays as a major water divide in peninsular India? So, the Western Ghats form the main watershed of peninsular India. Rivers originating on the eastern side flow towards the Bay of Bengal, while a few rivers on the western side flow towards the Arabian Sea. For example, Godavari originates near Western Ghats but flows eastward. Next question, why do Narmada and Tapi flow westward while most peninsular rivers flow eastward? So, Narmada and Tapi flow through rift valleys located between block mountains. These tectonic depressions direct their flow towards the Arabian Sea. For example, Narmada flows between the Vindhya and Satpura ranges. Next question, why do east flowing peninsular rivers form large deltas whereas west flowing rivers generally form estuaries? So, east flowing rivers have long courses and carry large amounts of sediments which are deposited at their mouths, forming deltas. West flowing rivers have short courses and enter the sea through estuaries. For example, Godavari Delta and Krishna Delta are major deltas of India. Next question, how did the upliftment of the Himalayas influence the drainage pattern of peninsular India? So, the upliftment of the Himalayas caused tilting and structural adjustments in the Indian landmass. This influenced river directions and contributed to the development of the present drainage pattern. For example, many peninsular rivers adjusted their courses due to tectonic changes. So the next question, what is river interlinking and why has it been proposed in India? So river interlinking is the transfer of water from surplus river basins to water deficit basins through canals and reservoirs. It has been proposed to ensure better utilization of river water resources. For example, water from flood prone regions can be transferred to drought prone areas. Next question, what are the major benefits and challenges associated with the interlinking of rivers in India? So benefits are better water distribution, increased irrigation, flood control, hydroelectric power generation, and challenges are environmental impacts, biodiversity loss, displacement of people, high financial loss, and interstate high financial cost and interstate water disputes. So the next question, and this is the last question for today, why is the Ganga considered the most important river of India from geographical, economic, ecological and cultural perspective? So the Ganga is India's most important river because it has the largest river basin, supports intensive agriculture, provides water for millions of people and holds immense cultural significance. It also supports rich biodiversity including the Ganga river dolphin. For example, cities such as Haridwar, Prayagraj, Varanasi and Kolkata have developed along the Ganga, highlighting its geographical, economic and cultural importance. So thanks for listening. Keep listening for further audio classes. Thank you.